Hello and welcome back to the Wrexham Way. Hope you're all doing well and looking forward to today's transfer special where we need to build a team capable of winning the Champions League. If you didn't watch yesterday's episode, I suggest you go back and watch it, although there's probably quite a few spoilers on the screen right now as to what happened. It was pretty good. As a result of everything, this season we are having Champions League football for the first time, and I think we need to try and win it. What I want to try and do is win it within 3 seasons. I think the Wrexham Way is starting to come to its conclusion, and I think we've got to put a 3-season limit on winning the Champions League and see what we can do. I'm already starting to have some ideas for what's going to come after the Wrexham Way. My main idea, which I think we'll probably go for, is like a Building a Nation save, but in South America. Think of the Aberdeen save, but lift it up and put it in South America. That's kind of what I want to do. There's one team in Peru that I've sort of scouted out that have a really weird club culture for signing players from the Ivory Coast, and I can't work out why, but it's in the game, and I'm pretty tempted by them. Anyway, enough about that. Make sure to drop a like on today's video for me and subscribe if you're new around here, and leave a comment down below. Let me know what you think about the future of this save and what your thoughts are on a Building a Nation save in South America. So you joined me on the 10th of June 2032, just into the transfer window, and as you can see there's 3 bids on the table for some of our players. I think today the tale is going to be keeping players, and I'm not sure we're going to be able to keep all of them because of some release fee clauses which could hinder us a little bit. We will start off though by looking at the team, and I think there are 3 positions that we need to improve on for this coming season. 2 definitely, a 3rd maybe. Goalkeeper and left back are certainly areas where we need to recruit. As much as we love Mantle, and he did help us win the Premier League, I think as he gets older we could certainly do with someone a little bit better, and I've got someone earmarked to replace him as well. I also think in left back we could do a little better, but I'm actually struggling to find left backs right now. We've got Rayan Nouri as our main starting left back. I love him, he's such a great player. Spadina and Santesic. Actually, Santesic is leaving on a free. We will try and sell Spadina. I don't think he's quite good enough to play Champions League football for us. So he's a player that will leave. So we could definitely do with someone at left back. And then in the CDM spot, you know there's a CDM that I've been chasing from Inter Milan for a little while. I'd love to bring him in, but if we can't, it's not the end of the world. We do have Tarpe, who is absolutely fantastic. He's developed really well over this past year. 8 caps for the Ivory Coast now. And worst comes to worst, we just keep hold of Lavia as well. Like, worst comes to worst, we keep hold of him. He's been a fantastic player for us, to be fair, over the past 3 seasons with some great average ratings, but they could be better. Obviously, we signed a lot of youngsters in January too, so a lot of these youngsters are going to start to graduate and start to take a lot more places in this first team and on the bench as well. There is one guy down here, Cohen Spiegel, who might not quite be good enough for our first team just yet, 18 years old, but either we keep him around to play and get tutored, or we send him out on loan, one of the 2. I'm not quite sure any clubs will be interested in him, really. I tried to loan him out in January, no one interested. That might have just been because he just signed for the club. So we'll see what happens with Cohen Spiegel. As for the other players down here, Aries Kamara will probably keep around, but that will mean quite a lot of centre mids at the club. If we keep both Spiegel and Kamara, that's 8 centre mids at the club, which is quite a lot, to be fair. Santesic leaving on a free, Saliba leaving on a free, Spadina we're going to try and sell. Pineda, we will try and sell him, obviously, if the new keeper comes in. And then Lavia, we may look to sell, of course, if we do want to bring in and can bring in that CDM from Inter Milan. So quite structured, quite planned out. Not too many transfers to be happening today. We are going to try and work on a couple of contracts for a few players. If we look at the contract expiry date, Luis Felipe has a contract coming to its conclusion soon. I think we try and get in there straight away to give him a new contract. Now, what's he currently on, Luis Felipe? £35,000 a week. I fully expect this to go up to £100,000 or so. That's what he's going to want as a star player. If we go in important player, he's happy with that. And 71 grand a week is actually a lot nicer than I thought. If we can bring that down to, he won't like 55 at all. But if we keep everything else pretty similar, maybe up the agent fee quite a bit to make him accept it. 75k. If we, I reckon we can do this, you know. So, 71. How about... okay, not quite 55. 67. was not enough. Oh. Okay, we'll be more generous next time around. We'll come back in a few weeks' time. I feel like there was someone else who wanted to give a new contract to. I think it might have just been, actually, Felipe. If I sort it by wage from lowest to highest, Panayotov, he's got another few years on his contract, to be fair. Thing is, there are some bids coming in for him, so it might not be right now that he wants to sign a new contract. I think it's just Panayotov and Felipe I want to try and sort contracts out for. Panayotov, doesn't want to talk contracts because he wants to go to other clubs right now. He'll stay at the club. He's one of the players that I'm not too worried about because he does have a release fee clause for the Champions League. 97 million. I didn't think he had one. Hopefully no one bids £97 million, but I think they might do, you know. Because I'll tell you why in a second. Another player that I am a little bit concerned about is Frank Nice as well. He has got a release fee clause of £100 million for clubs in the Champions League. And if we go to offer him a new contract, not interested right now. What clubs are interested in Panayotov? Just Newcastle, and they've not got Champions League football. Frank Nice, though, is interested by Arsenal, Chelsea, Everton, Man United, West Ham and Real Madrid. I think United and Real Madrid both have Champions League football, and that could be a little nervy. Now, there are bids on the table. Currently, £42 million for Neto from Man City. Not a chance. We like Neto. He's staying at the club. Randy Ramheimer, £39 million from Man City. Again, we like Randy. He's staying at the club, so not a chance. Panayotov, it's 68, rising to £83 million. I think the release fee clause has got to be that £97 million up front, hasn't it? So... And again, Newcastle are not going to get they've not got Champions League football, so they can't trigger that release fee clause. So we'll say no. We're going to try and keep all these guys at the club right now. On the inside of things, though, we've got £75 million to spend, and we've got a nice chunk of wage budget as well to play around with. The overall balance has taken a little hit, actually, in recent weeks, and that is because we finally have a brand new stadium ready to come, and it's going to be named after Joey Jones. Now, I'll be honest, I have no idea who he is, so I did a bit of research into this Joey Jones guy, and it turns out in the 70s, 80s and 90s, he made over 400 appearances for Wrexham, which is not bad going. Now, in between his 3 separate spells at Wrexham, he played for Liverpool, Chelsea and Huddersfield, and whilst he was at Liverpool, he won 2 European Cups. So it turns out he was actually a very good player who also got 72 caps for Wales. So, I mean... he's way before my time, which is why I've never heard of him. I'm also not a Wrexham fan, which is why I've not heard of him. I'm not a Liverpool fan, which is why I've not heard of him. But turns out he's pretty big in the Wrexham space. So I'll allow this stadium to be named after him. But obviously I'm cross it's not after me. Even though I have finally become a legend at the club, which is quite nice. Finally have my name updated and added to the legends, which I think is understandable. So, we've covered positions, we've covered maybe some players leaving the club, we've covered finances, we've covered the new stadium, we've covered Joey Jones, not quite the order, a bit of a weird order. Maybe I should have structured this a bit better, but let's actually start talking about players that we want to sign for the club. And if I'm honest... it's a little bit tricky, to be fair. If I look at my shortlist, I should say. Now, obviously, that CDM, Sal Martinez, who won European Golden Boy, he's the CDM that we want to bring in. But it's going to be very expensive. His agent, last time out, said 47 to 59 million pounds. But that was quite a while ago. I'm not entirely sure what they'd want now. But, of course, we're a Champions League team, so I'm pretty sure he'd want to join in. It does say down here, transfer interest unknown. We should maybe get a scout report on him just to update that a little bit. But he looks very, very good. In fact, the scout report's actually probably quite old, to be fair. The scout report doesn't actually say on this screen when it was done. But still, it's probably an old one, to be fair. So we'll come back in for him if we have money towards the end of the window. I think a left back and a keeper are probably the more important ones to get. And I think for the keeper... this guy, Usman Kamara, currently the keeper at Freiburg. I think he's the man to take us to the next level. Wanted by Man United, currently a German international as well. And if we compare him with Nico Mantle, you can see that although Mantle's very good, much better shot stopping, much better in the air, a lot less eccentric, could be slightly better physically, but at 26 years old will only improve. So for me, Kamara... I think is the keeper that we need to bring in. I've scouted out other ones and I'm not that impressed by other ones. Also, in terms of value for money, a £35.5 million release fee clause is absolutely perfect. Other keepers at a similar sort of level, maybe slightly better, are so much more expensive and older as well. So I think Kamara's the man. We're going to make the offer and trigger the release fee clause, and hopefully he'll be interested in signing a contract with us. Now, before we do the contract with Kamara, Randy Ramheimer and Paniotov are upset about not being able to move to Man City and Newcastle respectively. I'll be honest, Paniotov, why do you want to go to Newcastle? Oh, it's the money, isn't it? But we just won the Premier League, lad. You should stay with us. Now, Luis Felipe, can you solve these issues for me, please? Well, he can't solve Ramheimer's. Paniotov's, can he solve that one? Paniotov happy to stay at the club. Right, now he's happy to stay at the club. Oh, he's not wanting a contract still. Maybe we ask him tomorrow, but surely that would suggest that he'd sign a new contract. Randy Ramheimer, let's discuss the issue with him. What I'll say to him is that, I mean, he wants to go for the life-changing money. Okay, that makes a lot of sense, to be fair. What wages are we talking about here? £89,000 a week. Oh, Randy. Randy. I mean, we should have known this. He turned us down for money in the past. He was always going to do it again at some point. I am not happy to pay him £89,000 a week. So he's going to be angry for a little while with me because I'm going to reject that. He said £85,000 a week. There must be room for more movement, apparently. £81,000 a week. There's still room for negotiation. Let's sort it out at some point. I can say that to him. Oh, show me who I really am. Randy, come on. Oh, we should have known this in the past. He's a money grab. He went to Arsenal, didn't he? He should have stayed with us. We brought him back, and it's a bit frustrating. Either way, we'll try and sort those issues out a little bit later on. In the meantime, Kamara is going to want a lot of money. More interest in joining Man United. Now, the thing is, rather than make him our first choice keeper, because he'll play every single game, let's just make him a star player. Like, that seems more reasonable to me. Star player, that might entice into this club a little better. Wants to improve the defence, but probably more than I'm planning on doing. So I'm going to remove and exclude that. He's locked in a big wage rise as well. This is painful. £215,000 a week. We can offer 160 at most. I'll go to 120 and give him exactly what he wants. I mean, the agent can have £1 million as well for the trouble. Oh, this is not gonna end well at all, is it? This is not going to end well at all. I mean, we're paying a cheap fee for him. For other keepers of a similar level, we are paying an awful lot more money. Even if it meant a little bit less in the wages. 150 he said yes to. I mean, he's a German first choice keeper. He's better than Mantle. Wanted by Man United, who arguably are the best team in the Premier League. I know we just won it, but arguably they should have won it ahead of us, really. I don't like it. But we've got 3 years. We've got 3 years. Also, we can ask Arian B to endorse the move. Of course, they both play in the German national team together. So can you have a word with him, please? It's not my place. Oh, lad, come on. Come on. Don't you want to link up with your compatriots at club level as well? Have a word. It'd be great for all of us. Not something I want to do. Thanks a lot, you loser. Okay, well, that's, one player coming in to the club, maybe. The next priority is left back, but I'm having some issues, to be fair, finding someone better than Rayan Aït-Nouri. And my thought process on it is that we wait until the actual season ticks over. You know, when it comes up with the leaderboards and it actually ticks over to next season. I think we might need to wait for then, potentially, to be able to have the reputation boost to then find more players who want to join us, maybe. In the meantime, an £89 million bid on the table for Frank Nice. Now, Arsenal are not in the Champions League. They came 5th, so they can't trigger his £100 million release fee clause. And also his transfer value is below £100 million. That could actually really help us out quite a bit, to be fair. But I will just sort of leave this on the table for as long as possible. so they don't keep making bids. So when I am forced to reject it, I will do. And that might happen quite a few times with some of these players today. Also, as expected, United have gone in for the keeper as well. So, I mean, that's something. I'll be honest, if he does go to United, I'm not going to be too fussed about it, given the amount of wages that he wants. Also, I realise we're meant to try and sell some players today too, aren't we? So let's go and try and offer out Spadina, because he's a player that I'm certain is going to leave. Also, Neto makes his first appearance for Brazil as well, which is fantastic. Congratulations, Neto. You love to see it. So Spadina, currently valued at 39 to 48 million pounds, has been on loan this past season at Ajax, doing reasonably well. Never quite hit the average ratings for us, to be fair, did he? So we're going to offer him out to clubs. I mean, why not 45 million? Let's just see if anyone wants to buy him for 45 million pounds. If they do, that would be amazing. Ajax aren't going to make a bid on him, which is fair enough. They've not got 45 million pounds, I'm sure. I'm probably not that impressed with him, really, as Juanol is set to go out on loan to Apoel over in Cyprus, which is a pretty decent move for him. Again, a player just never quite properly developed for us, which is a big shame. A lot of our youth players never really hit the levels that we needed them to, at least at the time we needed them to. If our progress had been slower, they would have fitted into the team probably a lot quicker, to be fair, which would have been quite nice. Man City want Neto for £52 million. I don't believe Neto has a release fee clause in his contract, just the relegation one, which is fine. So he'll be crossed, but we're going to keep rejecting that, as apparently takeover rumours are not to be believed. It also feels like no one is bidding for Spadina, and no one even wants him, which is a bit of a shame. I did think £45 million was quite the big asking price. Let's go to 30 instead, because I think that's starting to get a bit more reasonable at that point. If no one puts a bid in at 30, we might just go unspecified and just see what clubs start to offer us. But I don't think it's going to be a great deal, as, again, Ajax refusing, unless Ajax are the only team that can bid on him right now because he's there. That doesn't quite make sense to me. Oh, annoyingly, the keeper's gone to Man United. Back to square one. I mean, to be fair, it was an outrageous contract, wasn't it? But, I don't know. We'll work on another keeper at some point. Whilst I'm here as well, left-backs. I mean, these are the best left-backs by star ability available to us. They're all pretty old as well. But also, like, if we go for a younger guy like Andy Finch, for example, who would be great to bring in, if we compare him with Rayan Aït-Nouri, Rayan's better. He's in the blue. Yes, this guy's got more speed and is more physical, but Rayan's better defensively, going forward, vision, everything. Like, Rayan's really good. Compare him to like the very best that we have actual information on. This guy, currently playing at Getafe. Compare with Rayan Aït-Nouri. Again, like, this guy's good going defensively, which is great, but everything else, Rayan Aït-Nouri is better at him at. Like, he's the better player. And these literally are like all of the centre-backs or left-back. And these are literally all left-backs available to us right now. On doubtful, transfer value. Like, there's not a whole lot here that we haven't scouted out in terms of good value. Like, this guy's come up, but he's 32. I'm not really fussed about signing a 32-year-old left-back. So, I don't really know what to do. Unless we go young, but again, going young, we need someone right now, don't we? Not for like 3 years in the future. So that's why I think we need to wait on a left back until the reputation updates. If we go to the keepers, again, if we sort it by current ability, there's not an awful lot there. Kamara was the best player to bring in. And all of a sudden, we're sort of back to square one with keepers. And if we take this guy right at the top, for example, who we've got the most accurate information on? This guy's 20 years old. That's not the best person to pick on, really, is it? Let's go for this top guy anyway. We don't quite know everything on him, but if we compare him with Mantle, for example, then you get to the stage where, look, Mantle's so much better. So there's not really a whole lot out there right now. And again, if we look at the value, we've scouted out a vast majority of his keepers with high values. Maybe I'm being a bit biased with it, but for me, high value means pretty decent. So again, maybe wait until the reputation updates. So maybe in the meantime, we try and get this guy off the shortlist because he's not at our club. Maybe we just try and blow the budget on Sam Martinez, to be fair. Bring a really solid wonder kid, European Golden Boy CDM into the team. Now, if we compare him with Tape down here, you can see that he is better than Tape in a lot of areas. Although Tape is not as bad as you might think he is for a young kid out of the Ivory Coast, which is pretty decent to be fair. Like, he maybe should be given a chance. If we compare Sal Martinez with where is he, Lavia, you can see that Sal is better in a lot of areas. Lavia is better in a lot of areas. As a CDM, I'm not attacking doesn't matter to me too much. Technicals don't matter too much. Vision and speed is quite nice for the passing. But then we see better physicals, defensive work, and aerial ability for Martinez. It's pretty close. I think that, you can make an argument that either one of these guys could be or should be starting for us. But if we could sell Lavia for that 48 to 58 million pounds and bring this guy in a bit cheaper, which I probably don't think we're going to be able to, then that would work quite nicely. I think the updated scout reports come through on him as well. Transfer status, we can't get an update on the aging, but the transfer fee's gone down, or the transfer value. So let's make an offer. If we bring it down to 20 mil and go for some instalments down the line of another 20 million, so 40 million pounds total, suggest they like that, but they want profit from next sale 40%, which I'll be honest, I'm not going to do, because this save file is going to end in the next 3 seasons, I said, didn't I? So I'm happy to leave that in there, actually. If I could bring this down to 18 and 18, they agreed to that. That was much nicer than I thought for literally the winner of European Golden Boy this past year. It was him that won it, wasn't it? Yeah, 2031 European Golden Boy. You love to see it. Annoyingly, does want a big contract to be expected for European Golden Boy, but only as a squad player, which is almost slightly worrying. Let's look to bring him in. Now, let's get rid of wage rises and future wage rises. 100 grand a week. We're going to have to start doing it at some point, aren't we? Those 100 grand a week. So that's what that's going to have to be. Big unused substitute fee, but he will start quite a lot. So I'm not too fussed about having that in there. If we could just... The appearance fee, by the way, I did not see that. 57 grand a week. Or appearance. I guess it's because he's a squad player, isn't it? Maybe I should have thought about that. He wants some big bonuses here to be a squad player. You can have that if we can bring this down to 80 grand a week. And try and bring it down to 50. Obviously, we got rid of those future wage rises, and that's really upped things. We can't touch these now. We can only touch the wage. 130. Do you want to agree to that, lad? He does. I'm not sure I agree to that, but I've been chasing this guy for a while, and I do think he's great. I do think he's very good, and I do think he'd make a good addition to the team. He's not that much better than Tape, and then the contracts really do put it into perspective at that point, but I don't know. Also, Tottenham making a big bid for Serginho Dest. 40 million. I don't think I want to let him go, I'll be honest with you. He played 20 games this season, a 6.99 average rating. We'd double our money, wouldn't we? We'd double our money, but I just love the fact that he plays on both flanks with both feet. He's just such a great backup player. And I think this season with the Champions League, this is going to be crucial. So I'm going to reject it, and I think he's got no interest in speaking to Tottenham anyway, so that's absolutely fine, so we can reject it anyway. But I think that sort of versatility is something that we're going to really need this season. Also, the time wait has finally come through on Frank Nice, so we have to reject it, and I'm sure Arsenal will put some more bids in at some point. But crucially, they can't reach that release fee clause. And by looks of things, it's been like a week or so since the window opened, and no one's getting close to those release fee clauses. Now, that could all change, of course, on deadline day. It has done in the past, of course. But it makes me feel pretty happy. More bids for Neto, more bids to be rejected. So now I'm just kind of waiting around for the new season to properly tick over, as the Martinez work permit has been agreed to, which is great. So he should be signing in a couple of days' time. Again, we'll just sort of wait until when the season ticks over. And then hopefully more players will want to join us when we have a better reputation because we just won the league. And for a bit of eye-watering money, Sal Martinez is here, both eye-watering in terms of the fee and the contract, but he's a wonder kid. He won European Golden Boy. He's proven in Serie A. I think it's a good move. I think it's a really good move for us. He is here now. The Stars have done him a little bit dirty there, maybe. I still think he's a very good player. I still think he would be the best CDM coming into this team. Had very good seasons with Inter. This past season actually dropped off a little bit. Where did Inter finish? Third. So maybe that's why they dropped off a little bit. But has not... did win one. Didn't have much to do that season, I don't think, but has won Serie A technically. I don't know. Maybe I'm doubting that a little bit, that transfer now, but it's done. It's done. As Randy Ramheimer is not leaving the club either. Look, we're a Champions League team now. We can spend big money. We've only got 3 seasons left at most. So look, I'm spending it. Look, here we go. The leaderboards have come up, so we can press continue, right? And then the new season is here. And are we going to get a reputation boost? Well, we get told that we're the biggest overachievers, which is understandable, to be fair. I think our pre-season prediction by the end of pre-season was like 7th or 8th, something like that. So it's not out of the question that we won the league title, but it is an overachievement. Best signing was Yilmaz Turk. Fantastic stuff. You'd love to see it. And some rule changes, which are just the generic sort of transfer rules and things like that. Now, we should get a little message talking about reputation shortly, I think. Because usually that's what happens, isn't it? If I remember correctly, that around this sort of point of the season, we get a talk about reputation at some point, I think. Oh, apparently we have no longer got a link with that club in Romania, which is a bit of a shame. I don't know why. That is a big shame, to be fair. Can we ask for another one, though? Request affiliate club. What we need to do is ask for a boost in our reputation in other countries, and the board are saying no to that. Come on, lads. They finally said yes after I just pressed the convince button a few times, and they want me to choose. That would be great, thank you. So, who have we currently got as an affiliate club? We currently have Dalian in China, Dukla Prague in the Czech Republic, Rijeka in Croatia, Torquay, and York City. So like an MLS club, if that's available, an MLS club, here we go, there's a few of them. That would be great to have some exposure in the US. We could also do, I think we are doing our pre-season tour in America as well. Now, who do we want? New England, Nashville, Real Salt Lake, Philadelphia, Sporting Kansas, or Portland Timbers? Have I got these leagues visible? I do. Right, who's won it in recent years? No, none of them that want us as an affiliate club. So let's not get too... Look, who's the highest place right now? Portland Timbers, 8th in the Western Conference. First in the Western Conference are Sporting Kansas City. Philadelphia are 5th. Real Salt Lake are 14th. Nashville 11th in the West. New England are usually pretty decent, but not right now. I'll be honest, none of these places are particularly sexy either. Like, it's not a Miami. It's not an LA. It's not a New York. I mean, at what point... None of them sound that great, do they? I'm just looking at facilities right now. Kansas have the best facilities by looks of things. Real Salt Lake aren't too far off. Nashville have got pretty poor ones. New England have got good training, poor youth. Kansas had... What I don't like about this skin, by the way, is it tells me the hidden... I mean, to be fair, it's not much of a game changer, is it? I just like seeing the stars, but this tells you the number out of 20 as to what the facilities are on this skin. I'm not quite sure I like that or not, but it's not really game breaking, that is it, to be fair. You can sort of work it out from the stars anyway. You know what's good and what's not good. Did Real Salt Lake have better... It doesn't really matter too much, does it? I think based on the fact that Sporting Kansas City have the best facilities, it's not very sexy, but we're going to choose them as an affiliate club. So, Sporting Kansas City, welcome to the Wrexham group. I think I spent way too much time talking about that as well, and not enough time doing transfery stuff either. So, let's have a look for transfers. So, this should... that's shortlist. I'm looking for player search. This should come up with some more players now that we've got a better reputation. So, if we search by transfer value... There we go. There's a few more people who might be interested in signing for us. So we'll get some scout reports done on a couple of these guys, although a lot of them are fairly old, which is not the most ideal scenario for us. But, you know, if they're great, it might be the case. Now, Joe Bursick is a player we looked at before, didn't we? From Tottenham. Obviously played in the Championship this past season. Would he want to go to the Champions League? I think he might do. If we compare him with Nico Mantle, they're very similar. He's not quite as good as that Kamara guy, is he? But he is better in terms of distribution. He's slightly better. Is he that much better? I don't know. I'm excited to... Well, not for £200 million. I'm going to say this guy from Morocco at Arsenal could be great, but not for £200 million. We'll wait for the scout reports to come through. Let's also look for left backs too, sorted by transfer value, and actually that's not really made a change at all. No change at all on left backs. Well, if we get rid of the interested in transfer button, right, even then it's not coming up with great players, is it? Although Thierry Small, was he at Everton previously? No, Man United. It was at Everton, yeah. Okay. And because he looks quite good. He's got no interest in signing for us, apparently. But if we compare him with Ryan Aït-Nouri, there's a player that actually does look better. I know it's only physically and speed-wise, but also technically attacking-wise. So, would Thierry Small want to join us? The answer's no, apparently. He's going to keep his options open until after the European champion. Thierry, like, if we just put a bid of, like, again, if we go like 30, because they're going to want a lot of money for him, and then 20 down the line, for example, 50 total. This again should have gone a lot cheaper than that, maybe. Would he actually want to talk contracts with us? I don't think he would. Nope, not at all. Not at all. When the European Championships finish, maybe that's when we talk to him. Oh, Paniotov now wants an improved contract. Yes, yes, please. Discuss it with him. Let's talk to you right now, Paniotov, about a new contract, because that will get rid of any sort of doubt in that release fee clause, because offer a newer contract to him. Important player, wants to improve goalkeepers. That's going to happen, but I'm worried that he might not like the keeper we bring in, so I'm going to remove it. He's happy with important player. 135 grand a week, he's probably worth it, but we can try and bring it down to like 85 to be in line with some of our other players. Get rid of the yearly wage rise and the unused substitute fee. Leave the other bonuses in there. He's gone up to 140 grand a week. This might be a 100 grand a week job, this one, to be fair. 90, 125, 95. It's going to be like 110, isn't it? He's gone orange. To be on the safe side, 115. Oh, no. Look, it's okay. He wants to be at the club. He'll come to me in a few days' time saying, why have you not offered me a new contract? Because that's what the promise was. And I'll say, sorry, let's do it again right now. And it should be okay. It should be okay, I think. But we are also now moving into July. So contract expiring for Saliba and Suntesic. Neto bids made. Again, we'll keep rejecting all of these. Paniotov upset. Let's discuss it with him and say, let's open talks as soon as possible. He says, yes, please. And I think this time we maybe give him exactly what he wants. Just so we don't have to worry about anything untoward with his contract. We want to keep him. I've got to bring it down a little bit. But 135 it is then, lad. Have what you want. Take it. Also, probably Luis Felipe should probably offer him a new contract. It's been almost 3 weeks, I think. It's usually 3 weeks you have to wait in between contract offers. So we'll go back in for him in a few days' time as loads of contracts of players expire. Also, 1st of July, Spadina is back from his loan spell, isn't he? So, again, transfer offer to clubs. Let's just go unspecified and see if clubs want to buy him. Also, Lavia. Should probably do the same with him as well, shouldn't we? I feel a bit bad, like he's done nothing wrong. And should be in the prime of his career at 28 years old, shouldn't he? But I can't help but just keep bringing new players in. And tons of clubs do actually want Spadina now. So it must have been a thing where they just weren't being offered to other clubs because of his loan spell. Really poor bids, but also some really big bids as well. Around the sort of £29 million mark. What I'm going to do is reject them all because I can't be asked to sort through them all right now. But we go back onto him because clearly there's interest in him. Are they all rejected? There we go, all rejected. Spadina, transfer, offer to clubs. Let's go 35 million. And just see which clubs want to make offers. Also bids for Lavia of around 33 to 25 million. Again, these are big wage contributions as well. Again, I think if we could maybe push that to around the £40 million mark, that would be quite handy, wouldn't it? As Pedro Pereira is wanted by Bayern Munich. He doesn't really want to go there, though, which is fine by me. Also, Sintetic goes to Benfica on a free. Quite annoyed about that one. My own errors. They're now upset they can't go to their respective clubs that they wanted to sign for. Luis Felipe, can you just sort this out quickly, please? He can't with Lavia. Can he do it for Spadina? He can, which is quite handy. Lavia, we have to talk to him then and say the finances weren't right on the deal. He says 38. Can we say 40? He's happy with being let go for £40 million. I can't remember what we offered him out for, to be fair. It must have been around 40. And so, a club's putting bids in? It doesn't seem like it. Which is rather frustrating. Maybe we should have taken those bids when we had the chance. I'm surprised no one's put anything near 30 on Spadina, actually. That seems to... Because they were on 29 beforehand, weren't they? So maybe we go back and offer to clubs unspecified and just accept those £29 million ones. Also, scouting finish on a whole load of these keepers, and not a lot of them are looking that... I mean, this guy's the best so far. If we compare him with Mantle, if I can find him, there he is, Nico Mantle. Mantle's better. So Joe Bursick's still looking to be in the driving seat. I mean, 35, 34, I'd rather not go for them. 33, 35, 34. They're not players that I want to go for, other than, of course, this guy. He's got no interest in signing for us and is way too expensive. So it might be Joe Bursick to bring in. Who is better? Better distribution, better in the air, less eccentric, better speed. Physically, not quite as good, but it might be okay. Ask agent about availability, and he'd want to play for us. Tottenham are willing to sell him. They see him as unsellable, and they've probably got the finances to not worry about selling him either. So let's just put, I don't know, 25 on the table, make an offer, and just start to unsettle Joe Bursick a little bit, because he wants to sign for us. So let's get this going a little bit. Let's declare interest for transfer. Let's get this going. No offers for Lavia or Spadina, which is a bit frustrating. So let's bring that down to like the £35 million mark and, hope that clubs bid for him. I think with Spadina, we go back to transfer offered to clubs unspecified and just take those best deals on the table. Bayern Munich, £85 million for Pereira. Again, we'll reject it. We want to keep him. I've got no one to really replace him with. Bursick wants to join us to play content of football. And also we are going to respond and say he's a top player, interested in him. We'd be all over the opportunity to bring him to the club. Let's say that. And hopefully this will start to trigger a little bit of angst in him and trying to get him to force a move away from whatever they're called. Tottenham. West Ham are bidding £35 million for Lavia. He's got no interest in joining them, though. Can we just, say, come on, lad, we've received a big bid from West Ham. It's a decision he said, come on, lad, just say yes. Just say yes, please. They're a great club. He's going to speak to them. Okay, that's fine. Speak to them. That's all I need to know. I've got to press negotiate on 40, apparently. Why is that a thing? Oh, because I told him he could go for £40 million. Oh, I must have... In the meantime, these bids have got better on Spadina, weirdly. I think Borussia Mönchengladbach's the best one because it's got no wage contribution on there. So I'll accept the Borussia Mönchengladbach one. He wants to go to Ajax, but they're not offering, or they're offering as much, aren't they? And a little bit of, we'll accept that. We'll say no to Monaco and the rest of them. £93 million for Pereira now. We're going to keep rejecting it, but at some point that might become yeah, okay, we might accept that. Towards the 120, £30 million mark. And also, Lavia, transfer offer to clubs, 35 million. Let's try and get him gone. Because if he sticks around, that's 3 CDMs and 8 centre mids at the club, which is probably a little bit too much, really. No bids for Lavia. You hate to see it. 33 what was offered before, wasn't it? Let's go for 33 and see if clubs want that. 103 for Pereira now. Reject that. Milan, 52 for Ramheimer. That's tough to reject, to be fair. The bid for Bursic has been rejected. Right, and this is when we let him get cross, shall we? Let's let him get cross. But also, Paniotov has got his new contract too, which is superb. Oh, Frank Nice also wants a new contract. Now this is going to be a big contract. He signed a new one not long ago for 65 grand a week. But I'd feel a lot better getting rid of that release fee clause. So, I'm going to say yes. And it's going to be a big contract, isn't it? It's going to be a really big contract. He wants to be an advanced forward. No, you've got to be the... Well, he actually is quite a good advanced forward, to be fair. But we play him as the false 9. He scores goals like that. Let's just try and get rid of all these promises. Star player's fine. 150 grand a week. Can we bring it down to 120? Landmark bonuses are fine. Let's get rid of unused substitute fee. Although he's never on the bench, let's leave it in there. Why not? Oh, I don't like all these big appearance fees, though. He's not going to like any of this, is he? Suggest. Okay, we're working somewhere. We're getting somewhere. The appearance fee's got to come down. 6.5, 120. It's doubling his wages, but it feels reasonable for arguably the best player in our team. But also does get rid of that release fee clause, which is really going to make my life a lot easier down the line, I think. Oh, and now no bids for Lavia. What's going on here, Lavia? Unspecified again. Let's just try and offer him out and just see if anyone wants a bid for him. £130 million now for Pereira. No, we can't let him go. 17 finishing, 18 first touch, 17 dribbling. He's not quite a Jan Cavalcanti. He's not quite a Jan Cavalcanti player. And to be fair, his goal scoring record has not been, like, insane. Am I insane for not accepting this money? I don't think I am. We want to win a Champions League, and he's going to be a big part of that. And now the bids are absolutely terrible for Lavia. What happened? What happened with this? Also, back on the keeper hunt. Again, it's not looking fantastic. If we get rid of the interesting transfer bit, then we get 2 really good keepers. This guy at Barca's on nearly £500,000 a week, so he's out the question, no matter how good he is. The Arsenal keeper, though. Ask agent about availability. He has doubts about joining us. But if he was going to join, does he want a lot of money? Compare with Nico Mansell. Okay. Better in every single area, apart from physicality, the same. And actually, eccentricity should be towards the 0, I believe. You can see how good this guy is. He would revolutionise our goalkeeping department. The thing is, not a chance we could afford him. Unless 50 now. 50 down the line. For a goalkeeper, can you add in... I don't think you can add in, can you, the goal bonus, can you? That would have been amazing if you could, because goal bonus would have been absolutely fantastic. Is it cheating? It's not... Because this will finish when we win a Champions League, right? So after we win the Champions League, have another 50 million. 150 total. Suggest. It's unacceptable. Unacceptable. 65 now? I'll make the offer. We'll see what they come back with. And then we have to think about the wages too. Again, we're not going to be able to afford the wage. I don't think we can afford to sign him, actually. Not this season, at least. But did Mantle do that much wrong? I don't think he did he? Oh, no offers for Lavia either. I don't know what's happened to clubs not wanting to bid for him now. This has really annoyed me. £125 million for... See, we could afford the keeper if we sold Pereira. The bid's been rejected though. If we up it to 80 for £180 million total, suggest unacceptable. Okay, well, there's no chance we're going to get him then. He was only doubtful for us too, so that's just not going to happen. I'm also very aware that I've been recording for a good 90 minutes and we've made one signing, and it's not looking likely we're going to make many more. What about this keeper that I've just seen at Liverpool, who seems fairly cheap? Compare him with Mantle. Mantle's better. Okay. It's so annoying. If we just got Kamara, like this would have solved our issues in the goal, but maybe we don't have issues. Maybe I'm being harsh on Mantle, because literally I cannot find a better keeper right now. I cannot. And again, like this Real Madrid keeper could be available. I'm not spending £400,000 a week on his wages. Lucas Schneller, who we had for a season, yeah, is apparently really good now. Was always pretty good, to be fair. If we compare him with Mantle, Mantle's better in the blue, as you can see. So maybe I'm just being very harsh on Mantle. Maybe I'm being really harsh on Mantle, and we don't need a new keeper. But then we get to the left-back situation, which is quite a serious situation because we do need a left-back of some sorts coming in. But again, like, I'm not seeing anyone better than Rayan Aït-Nouri, which makes you think, okay, let's look for potentiality instead. Maybe that's the one to go for, but we need a keeper now, not a keeper for... I'm not on the keeper thought still. I mean left-back, don't I? I quite like the look of this Lorenzo. If we compare him with Rayan Aït-Nouri. Oh! Well, all of a sudden, out of the mists of nowhere, we found someone who actually is probably better than Aït-Nouri. Now, not quite as good going forward as Aït-Nouri, but defensively, physically, aerially, mentally better, technically very similar, vision very similar, 24 years old, could probably improve a little bit. Maybe this is the man. I'll be honest, it's the best we can find right now with a £42 million release fee clause, I believe is what it seems to be suggesting, yes. So we'll have to pay the £42 million, but after literally weeks and weeks in game of looking for a left back, this is like the only guy who looks like he's actually good enough to be in our team. As a regular starter, let's say that, he wants... Oh God, okay, we need to adjust the budgets massively right now, because we are overspending on wages. So as long as we've got £42 million, we should be okay. He wanted 100 grand a week, didn't he? You're not having that. Let's talk 80. And everything else is there as he wants it. Let's just adjust things a little bit. Oh, not too much though, because we need to get this. The wage is the biggest thing for me. And to be fair, we're in the same ballpark and we are agreeing on it. Lorenzo Perotti actually could be the replacement that we need. Because we don't necessarily rely on our wing-backs or full-backs getting forward that much. The attacking is not that important to us. Of course, we've got the Mazzalas to get out wide and do the dirty work, I suppose, on the wings. I'm just so annoyed that no one wants Lavia now, by the way. How is this... I've really messed this up, haven't I? Oh my gosh, £137 million for Pereira. I said I'd listen, wouldn't I? I said I'd listen. He's not actually that bothered though, is he? He'd rather go... He's not got cross with us for rejecting it. I think we keep rejecting and see how high they go. Also, Cohen Spiegel, I've kind of forgotten about him, offered to clubs on loan, so we don't have like an excessive amount of young players, or midfielders at the club, I should say. So offer him out for loan, and a few clubs want him as a squad player. Better than that, please. League 2 standard. And then as he's squad play, he may as well just stay with us to play and get tutored by really great players. So actually, maybe Cohen Spiegel does stay at the club. Again, bids for Bursic being rejected. I think we give up on the keeper search. I think we trust Mantle again for the season. Pineda is back up. We keep looking for a better keeper because there are some out there. It's just that we can't get the move to happen right now as no one wants Lavia. Why? Oh my God, 151. They are desperate for him. What sort of a striker could we bring in? I don't think we're going to find someone out there who's as good as him who would want to join. Like Mario Pierre, whatever he's called, right? Compare him with Pedro Pereira. And, okay. Maybe he is better, actually. Other than physically and in terms of speed, he's as good or better. Goal scoring record's not too bad. £66 million. And that's pennies for us if we sell Pereira for 150, right? Dane Scarlett, currently at Sevilla. Probably not quite. We don't have a full report on him, do we, to be fair? But if we briefly compare him with Pereira, we've not really got a great report there. If we get rid of interest in transfer, Benjamin Šeško, ask agent about availability. He'd maybe want to join us on big wages. But he's not. He didn't, in this version of my save file, he doesn't look that great, actually. Particularly comparing to Pedro Pereira. Pretty even. Very different style of player, but very even. Maybe Pereira better. And that's even with Šeško not actually interested in signing for us as well. Look, we've got no reason to sell. We've got to think logically. Who would we bring in to replace Pedro Pereira? Well, right now, in terms of our scout reports, we've not been looking for strikers for years because we've not needed strikers, right? The only player that might be worth bringing in is this guy. Madrid actually bid £61 million for him. Okay. The 61 good enough? 61 is good enough, okay, to match the Madrid bid. But is it going to be a situation where he goes to Madrid instead of us, right? That seems... Yeah, more interest in Madrid, same interest in Leicester. On ridiculous wages too. Astronomical wages for our team. So, yeah, it's very big money, as Neto is not leaving for Man City. It's very big money, but we don't need to sell. We're in no pressure to sell. And he doesn't want to leave, so that's that. And so, it's kind of in a situation right now where we really need, actually, Lavia to leave the club. I'll keep trying to do that, but on my terms. But with a year left on his contract, it's got to be done this transfer window. And we might as well take... I'm so annoyed that I didn't properly read what we were talking about with Lavia. Because I think I was about to accept 35. And I think in that conversation, I promised him to not go for anything less than 40. Which I should have read, but I didn't read properly. What's the bid now from Bayern Munich? 160... Am I an idiot? Am I an idiot? And he's also training really well too. He loves being at this club. So, look, if they're willing to bid £167 million this season after a terrific league and Champions League season, they'll bid more down the line. Or they'll bid 183 right now. And also, Barcelona want Ramheim for 42. That's not as big as a bid we had earlier on from someone else, so we'll reject that, but he might get cross. Nice has signed a new contract too, which is great. So that's another player signed up on £100,000 plus per week, but it's going to have to happen now in the Champions League. And Spadina is set to lead the club to Ajax for 19 up front and then 34 down the line, which is a really good deal for a guy that's we weren't that too fussed about. So that's a pretty good one. Happy with that. I have to keep convincing myself that we don't need the money. £52 million in the bank balance. And this is without the Premier League money that's going to come into the club. It's without the Champions League money that's going to come into the club. We are not pressed for money right now. Money is not an issue for us. Also, Pineda, £10 million to Dortmund. That might be something we have to accept. Because his contract expires in a couple of years' time. Last summer, I think there were bids of like 1 million. So I think we'll accept that for Pineda. Also, Hertha Berlin making a bid for Nico Mantle. Well, right now we need to keep him, so let's reject that. But then it means we need to find a backup keeper, which should be easier, shouldn't it, actually? Backup keeper should be easier if we just go to keepers and we just sort it by potential ability, right? We could just look to bring in I don't know, someone with decent potential. Although these are all pretty expensive, aren't they? Although maybe not. This guy at is £17 million from Dortmund, 21. Compare him with Nico Mansell. Yeah, nowhere near as good. But, you know, has a lot of time to develop. Could be a lot better. Is good enough, probably, doesn't actually say on here, but he's nowhere near as good as Pineda, is he? Or do we just try and go for a like-for-like Pineda like this guy, potentially, who is not that great. Although 2 caps for Argentina suggests he probably is quite good, actually. I mean, he's not going to be a Mantle's level, I don't think, from his attributes. No. But if we compared him with Pineda, all we need here is a backup player. And, well, he's not as good as Pineda, but he's only 20, so will get better and is fairly cheap. So I think this guy is the guy to just sort of be his replacement. Not that he's going to play many games at all, like FA Cup and League Cup games. That's that. Mansell now wants to go to Hertha Berlin. You can't. You literally can't go, lad, because we cannot get anyone else in as good as you. And he's happy to stay at the club, which is fine. The contract for Gallardo is going to be backup. That's fine. And suggest promises 42 grand a week's quite a lot, lad. Bring it under 30. Although we're getting rid of a lot of ways for him to make money in the future. So 35, 45. If we can settle on 40, that's okay. And you're not going back on loan. So there's a backup keeper coming in at least, which is good. So that's, you know, quickly resolved itself, which is quite good. But again, it's not a first choice, there is it? This has actually turned out to be one of the most frustrating transfer windows as Everton. £12 million bid for Pineda. Okay, well, great. I'm glad Pineda's leaving for a nice bit of money as, okay, still no takeover. I was going to panic then suddenly if we were not going to be able to bring in players, but I suppose it's mostly sorted out. Nelson Lorca, former player of ours, has gone to Reading, which is quite nice for him. Congratulations. That striker has gone to Real Madrid on quite a cheaper contract than he wanted from us, to be fair, which is, you know, all right, I suppose. The left back signed a new contract as well. I give up. Today's transfer special has not gone to plan. It's not worked out for us. Let's not forget, this team is still the team that won the Premier League last season. We are lacking a little bit of depth at left back. We could do with a left back coming in, but if all else fails, where is he on this list somewhere if I can find him? Hector Garcia can play left back fairly comfortably. So there's no real issue there just yet. Hector Garcia can play there. And actually, of course, so can Serginho Dest, which is pretty good. But a left back coming in would be quite handy. It would be, definitely. I know the keeper is getting his work permit done right now, so that should be pretty handy for him to come in too any moment now. And literally, as I say that, here he is, Ezequiel Gallardo, to come in to be our backup keeper this season to Mantle, who is still a very good keeper. He's literally won us a Premier League title, so we can't complain too much. It just would have been nice to bring someone else in. So I think we're okay. I'm just aware that I've taken like a long time to record this, over 2 hours. And not an awful lot has happened, to be fair. Not an awful lot has happened. So I'm a little bit, I don't know. I need to recharge. I need to take a step back and come back fresh. Good news is, though, next episode will be, I think, the FA Community Shield, because we might not get a chance to play in that one again. We're taking on Leicester, who actually ended up coming second in the league last season after Liverpool and Man United capitulated at the end of last season. So we'll start off the new season tomorrow with Leicester, and following that, we'll focus on the Champions League. So thank you so much for watching today's episode. I hope you guys have enjoyed it. Despite the lack of transfers, you've seen the stress we've been under. It's not been an easy transfer window for us. Knowing the strength of our team that we have already because of the Champions League, the Premier League win, not quite Champions League just yet, but the Premier League win, I'm feeling happy and confident with this team that they should do a very good job. And also, we did a lot of shopping in January, didn't we? Bringing in some youngsters who hopefully will develop in the next 2 years or so to be world-class players. So I've got no issues there. I will continue to look for a left back and a keeper as well, just in case one pops up. I'll keep looking, but it's not looking hopeful. Either way, thank you ever so much for watching today. Hope you have enjoyed it. I will see you tomorrow for the Community Shield. Have a good one. Goodbye.